Hi, and thank you for joining my very first knitting tutorial. So this tutorial is for a baby girl's cardigan. It's for aged 3 to 6 months, and we're going to get straight into it by casting on 99 stitches. So we're going to start with purl 1, and then we're going to knit 7, and then we're going to purl 2, knit 7, purl 2, and just continue purling 2 and knitting 7 to the last stitch, and purl the last stitch. So purl 1 and turn, so now we're going to knit into the first stitch and purl 7, and then knit 2 and purl 7, knit 2, purl 7, and just continue to the end of the row, and then knit the last stitch, and repeat these 2 rows once more. Now we're going to purl 1, and we're going to slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 3, knit 2 together, purl 2, and then slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitched over, knit 3, knit 2 together, purl 2. So as you can see, what we're doing is we're decreasing at either side of the knit stitches and knitting the 3 stitches in between. So slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 3, and then knit 2 together and purl 2, and just repeat that sequence until the end of the row, and then purl 1 at the end. So now we're going to start the next row with knit 1, and then we're going to purl 5, knit 2, and purl 5. So continue to knit 2 and purl 5 to the end of the row, and then knit 1 stitch at the end. So for the next row, purl 1, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1 stitch, and then knit 2 together, purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitched over, knit 1, knit 2 together, purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, purl 2, and just continue that sequence to the last stitch and then purl 1 at the end. So start the next row with knit 1, purl 2, purl 3, knit 1, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, and just continue purling 3 and knitting 2 to the end of the row and end with a knit 1. So we're going to begin the next row with purl 1, and we're going to put the yarn around the needle, and we're going to slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over. So I might have been off screen a bit there, I do apologise. So yarn around needle, no, yes, purl 2. Okay, so yarn round needle, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, yarn round needle, purl 2, yarn round needle, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, and yarn round needle, purl 2, and just continue that pattern to the end of the row and end with a purl 1. And so for the final row of the border, we're going to knit 1, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, and knit 2, purl 3, and knit 2, and just continue to purl 3 and knit 2 to the last stitch, and then knit 1 at the end. So now we're just going to do straightforward knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and then we'll just carry on working in stocking stitch, knit 1 row, purl 1 row until the work measures 6.5 inches. So now we're going to shape the armholes, and we're going to decrease at each end of the next 5 rows. So on knit rows, knit 2 together at the beginning and at the end, and obviously on purl rows, purl 2 together and purl 2 together at the end. And knit 2 together at the end, turn, and start the next row with purl 2 together. So just continue to decrease at each end of this row and the next 3 rows. Now we're going to just continue working straight, purls and rows of purls and rows of knits until the armhole measures 4¼ inches. Now we're going to cast off 6 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. So continue to knit to the end of the row and then cast off 7 stitches at the beginning of the next row. Now we're going to cast off 7 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. And just continue knitting to the end of the row and then cast off 7 on the purl row, beginning of the purl row. And next just cast off the remaining stitches and the back is finished. And next we'll go on to the right front. So now we're going to start on the right front, and we're going to begin by casting on 46 stitches. That's 46. Why do I always look cat-handed when I'm filming? It's fine when I'm not. So we're going to start the row with purl 2, and knit 7, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and purl 2. So carry on purling 2 and knitting 7 to the last stitch, and then purl 1 into the last stitch. And we're going to begin the next row with knit 1 and purl 7. And then knit 2, purl 7, and then knit 2 and purl 7 to the end of the row, and just repeat the last 2 rows twice more. So purl 2, knit 7 for this row, and then repeat after this row, repeat the second row. Now we're going to start the shaping of the bells. So purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 3, knit 2 together, and then purl 2. Slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 3, knit 2 together, and purl 2, and just continue that to the end of the row. Forgot to mention it was purl 1 at the end of the row, not purl 2, because we've only got 1 stitch on the end. So the next row is just to knit 1, purl 5, sorry about that, I just temporarily lost the ability to count, knit 2, purl 5, basically just purl into all the purl stitches and knit into all the knit stitches to the end of the row. So for the next row, purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, and purl 2. And repeat that sequence to the end of the row and end with purl 1. And for the next row we'll start with knit 1 and then purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 2, and just continue that to the end of the row. And then we'll start the next row with purl 2 and yarn round needle, slip 1, knit one, slip one, knit two together, pass slip stitch over, yarn round needle, purl 2, yarn round needle, slip one, knit two together, pass slip stitch over, yarn round needle, purl 2, and repeat that sequence to the end of the row. So now we're going to shape the armhole. So knit to the last 2 stitches and knit 2 together at the end. So at the end, knit 2 together and turn. And what we're going to do is start the next row with purl 2 together and purl to the end, and then decrease at the armhole edge on the following 3 rows as well. So now we've done the 5 rows of decreases, we're now going to work straight until the armhole measures 2.5 inches. So just carry on doing straight purl rows and straight knit rows until the armhole is 2.5 inches. So now we're going to cast off 3 stitches. And knit to the end, and then we're going to decrease on the neck edge for the next 2 rows, and then we're going to continue straight until the armhole measures 4 inches. So decrease on neck edge of next 2 rows, then work straight until it measures, the armhole measures 4 inches. So we're going to cast off 6 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. And then cast off the remaining stitches. And fasten off. And then when you do the left side, just do it in exactly the same way until you get to the armhole shaping, and then you just make sure you do it on the opposite side, so, and all the shapings on the opposite side, but otherwise they're all exactly the same. With these slightly smaller needles of 4.5, this is the sleeve, by the way, and we're going to cast on 39 stitches. So we're going to start the sleeve with rib, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and continue to the end of the row, and then just continue working rib. So what looks like a knit stitch it will be knitted into, and what looks like a purl stitch will be purled into. And we need 6 rows all together, so another 5 rows after this. Now we're going to change to the 5mm needles, and we're going to proceed in knitting 1 row and then purling all alternate rows. So basically we're just doing a stocking stitch until our work measures 6.5 inches. No shaping on this sleeve, just straightforward knit a row, purl a row. So yeah, just continue until your work measures 6.5 inches. Okay, so now we've done 7.5 inches, which I said was 6.5 inches, but put a note to amend. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work 5 rows, and we're just going to decrease at the end, at the beginning and end of all 5 rows. So knit 2 together at the beginning of the knit rows and knit 2 together in the last 2 stitches, purl 2 together on the purl rows and purl 2 together at the end of the purl rows. And so just work the 5 rows with decreases at each end. So now we've started the top shaping and we've done cast off 10 stitches. The next thing we're going to do is work 1 row straight, and then we're going to cast off 10 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows. So that's 10 stitches to cast off at the beginning of this row and the next row. And all that remains after casting off those 2 lots of 10 stitches is to cast off the remaining stitches and then fasten off. And the next thing to do is to join the shoulder seams of the left and front to the back shoulder seams. Obviously make sure that everything's reverse side out as you do that. So yeah, just cast off and fasten off the sleeve. So we're going to rejoin the yarn to so this is the right front, and this is the corner of the right front where the shaping begins for the collar, and we're going to work 22 pick up and knit 22 stitches along the side of the collar. This is my least favourite part of knitting, it has to be said, but persevere, it'll be worth it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 22 stitches at the sides of the collars, neckband, 21 stitches across the back, and then 22 again down the other side of the neck shaping. And after that you're going to work 6 rows in knit 1, purl 1, rib as you did for the sleeves. So now we're at the end, we're going to cast off in pattern. And just finish doing that, and then we'll move on to the right front border. So when you've completed the 6 rows of rib, we're going to cast off in pattern. That's so that the top doesn't look odd. So knit 1, purl 1, pull the stitch over. So now we're going to rejoin the yarn to the right front at the top of the border, so around about here, and we're going to pick up and knit 43 stitches along the right front. As evenly as possible, and then when you've picked up 43 stitches along the right front, you're going to pick up 6 stitches at the side of the neckband. And now we're just going to work 2 rows of rib. So this is the wrong side, so we'll start with a purl 1, followed by a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and just continue and finish the row of rib, and then do 1 more row of rib, and then we'll do the buttonhole row. Cast off 2 stitches, one, 2, rib 7, cast off 2 stitches, one, 2, rib 7, cast off 2 stitches, one, 2, rib 7, cast off 2 stitches, and purl 1, and turn, and then we're going to rib 1, and then to cast stitches back on, I'm going to turn the work, and we're going to cast on like so, cast on like so, and turn back again. And purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, turn your work and cast on 2 stitches, turn back, and continue to work in rib, casting on 2 stitches over the buttonholes. I'll just show you one more time how to do the buttonhole in case I wasn't properly viewed. I think I was a bit off camera there. So knit one, turn, and turn back and continue with the rib, and just repeat to the end of the row, and then we'll work 2 more rows of rib, and then do exactly the same for the other side, but obviously on the other side you won't have to do the buttonholes, and then we're ready to assemble.